The night sky over Eastern Europe was supposed to be quiet, cold winds passing over abandoned fields, the distant hum of machinery, the unsettling silence that only war-torn landscapes can create. But on this night, that silence shattered. Blinding flashes tore through the dark horizon. Fire illuminated the sky like a second sunrise. It was the moment everyone had been waiting for, the moment Ukraine struck back with a massive and unexpected attack on Russian forces, reshaping the battlefield in ways no one predicted. And what unfolded next changed the momentum of the conflict more than anyone imagined. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Battle War Conflict channel. Please subscribe and like my videos for more intense and deep analysis content from the world's most dangerous conflict zones. Today's story is not just about missiles and machines. It's about strategy, resilience, and the surprising counterattack that caught the world's attention. Reports began emerging early in the morning. Satellite images showed large plumes of smoke rising from Russian positions along key supply routes. Ukraine's military, after weeks of calculated silence, launched one of its most aggressive strikes of the year. Analysts had expected small tactical operations, but what happened looked like a full-force retaliation. Drones swarmed the sky like a mechanical storm, and precision missiles hit ammunition depots, command centers, and armored vehicle gatherings. It wasn't just destruction, it was a message. Ukraine was no longer defending, Ukraine was advancing. To understand how this attack unfolded, one must first look at the exterior scale of the operation itself. Unlike previous skirmishes limited to a single front, this strike spanned multiple regions. Long-range drones flew over fortified Russian zones, slipping through radar shadows created deliberately by Ukraine using electronic warfare. Ukrainian anti-radiation missiles targeted Russian radar systems moments before the main wave of drones approached, disabling air defenses just long enough for maximum impact. The precision was uncanny. Every explosion recorded on the ground matched tactical objectives mapped out days in advance. The exterior landscape of the battle lit up like a chain reaction, with targeted strikes tearing through supply lines and forcing Russian armored columns to scatter for cover. The level of coordination reflected not only improved technology, but a growing mastery of battlefield timing. As the attack intensified, Russia scrambled fighter jets and anti-air batteries, firing desperately into the night sky. But Ukraine had anticipated this response. They had deployed decoy drones, cheap, expendable aircraft designed to absorb ammunition and create confusion. This allowed the real strike drones to slip through and hit high-value assets with surgical precision. The exterior impact was devastating. Fuel depots exploded with massive fireballs, artillery positions crumbled under repeated hits, and several armored battalions reportedly faced significant losses. It was a spectacle of coordinated destruction rarely seen in modern warfare. While the exterior battlefield exploded with chaos, the interior planning behind the operation reveals an even more fascinating story. Deep inside Ukraine's underground command centers, the mood was calm, controlled, almost surgical. These interior strategic rooms have evolved drastically since the beginning of the war. What once were basic operational hubs have now transformed into high-tech war rooms filled with AI-powered systems, real-time drone feeds, and encrypted communication channels connecting hundreds of field units simultaneously. Commanders monitored multiple screens showing infrared drone perspectives, satellite overlays, and target lock confirmations. Analysts ran predictive simulations moments before each wave of attacks, ensuring that the strike sequence remained flawless. Inside these command bunkers, soldiers and analysts moved with purpose. The interior environment felt like a hybrid of a digital operations center and a wartime nerve hub, blending modern technology with the raw intensity of conflict. Generators hummed steadily, lights flickered across tactical maps, and the faint sound of radio operators relaying coordinates filled the air. There was a discipline in every action, a silent understanding among the crew that this operation could shift momentum in Ukraine's favor. Conversations were short, precise, focused entirely on mission success. The interior atmosphere carried tension, but also confidence. Confidence built from months of planning, intelligence gathering, and military upgrades provided by allied nations. This interior network of underground bases played a crucial role in synchronizing drone routes, timing missile launches, and adapting in real time to Russian countermeasures. When Russian jamming equipment attempted to disrupt Ukrainian drone signals, the interior tech teams quickly rerouted frequencies and restored control. When Russian air units attempted to intercept, the command center adjusted drone altitudes instantly. This level of operational interior coordination became one of the strongest weapons in Ukraine's arsenal. Performance-wise, Ukraine's strike was not just effective, it was exceptional. Military analysts around the world described the attack as one of Ukraine's highest performing operations of the year. The drones used performed exceptionally well under heavy electronic warfare conditions. Many were upgraded with improved GPS resistance, thermal guidance, and adaptive flight algorithms that allowed them to change course mid-air. The missiles used in the attack demonstrated high accuracy, hitting bunkers buried deep underground and armored targets protected by layers of sandbags and concrete. But performance wasn't only about technology. It was also about timing. Ukraine launched the attack during a period of strategic vulnerability for Russia, shortly after a supply shipment had arrived, but before defensive systems were properly repositioned. This meant that many high-value Russian assets were exposed at the exact moment Ukraine began its strike. The precision, timing, and adaptability combined created a performance level that military observers compared to top-tier NATO operations. Safety features during the operation may sound unusual in the context of war, but modern militaries increasingly integrate safety functions to protect their own troops and reduce civilian risk. Ukraine's operation used carefully calculated trajectories ensuring that missiles avoided populated areas. Drones were programmed with automatic fail-safe systems shutting down and self-destructing if they lost guidance or drifted off course. Electronic countermeasure units protected Ukrainian armor and infantry in nearby regions from retaliatory strikes. Medical evacuation units were positioned in advance, prepared for any emergency. Civilian shelters in nearby towns received early warnings through encrypted messaging apps and emergency channels, ensuring people took cover before the first explosions began. These layers of safety, integrated into a major offensive, show how Ukraine is modernizing its approach, combining aggressive tactics with protective measures. When analyzing the unique selling points of this operation, those elements that make it stand out from previous attacks, it becomes clear that Ukraine introduced several new strategies. One major USP was the combination of decoy drones with real strike drones, a tactic that overwhelmed Russian defenses and created an illusion of exaggerated swarm numbers. Another key USP was Ukraine's use of multi-directional strike vectors, attacking from various angles simultaneously, making it difficult for Russian forces to predict the main assault point. Additionally, Ukraine employed advanced air-based battlefield prediction tools, which helped commanders anticipate Russian counter-movements even before they occurred. These unique approaches gave Ukraine a competitive edge that analysts say could redefine future operations. On the topic of price, the financial cost of such a massive counterattack is significant, but surprisingly efficient. Ukrainian officials have stated repeatedly that domestically produced drones cost a fraction of Russian missiles and anti-air systems used to shoot them down. A drone costing a few $1,000s can force Russia to fire missiles costing hundreds of thousands or even millions. This cost imbalance makes drone warfare economically advantageous for Ukraine. Additionally, many of the technologies used were funded or supplied by international allies, reducing Ukraine's financial burden. The price of this operation, when compared to the scale of damage inflicted on Russian positions, reflects an extremely high cost-efficiency ratio, something crucial for a country fighting a prolonged war. The conclusion of this operation leaves the world with a clear message: Ukraine is evolving, adapting, and becoming more capable with every passing month. This massive strike was not just a retaliation, it was a demonstration of strength, resilience, and strategic growth. It showcased how modern warfare is shifting, where intelligence, technology, and timing can outweigh sheer numbers. While the conflict is far from over, this strike reignited morale within Ukraine and sent shockwaves across Russian command structures. For now, Ukraine holds the momentum, and the world continues to watch as the battle for control, territory, and survival unfolds day by day.